Hello, people. Hello, YouTube. Peace be unto you all. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, we meet again. Today we're gonna talk about slave. We're going to talk about slaves because I see right now, I don't know what when people say slave, I don't know if they know exactly what the slave means, or who are slave. Okay, so today we're gonna start part one of slave, because I think most people don't know the the meaning of the slaves. People change it, or people don't really know. I'm not sure, or maybe they just wanted it that way or something. So every time I hear when people talk about slaves, as we, first of all, I'm an African. We African, we don't know if what mean slave is that the same meaning as American or other countries they know. Okay, so it means like to me it look like they don't know what the slave, or maybe they just wanted it that way to just benefit their own culture or their own supremacy or something. So today I'm gonna talk about it, maybe to help my brothers and sisters, Black Americans, because all they talk about slave, slave, slave. I don't know if they know exactly what the slave look like or what means. Because when you see, when Black Americans or other people talk about slave, it look like something different. Okay, for example, today video, first of all, my videos, I told you before, it's not gonna be like just put anybody down or anything. So I'm just gonna tell you what I hear about slave story since I was born in Africa. When Africans say slave, we see what the slave look like. Okay, and where I was born, I see slave before. My father family, we used to own a slave. And right now, even I can tell you, they have slave in so many countries. Okay? And what the slave used to be is not what Americans showing or the whole world is showing now. And second of all, let me tell you, not every black man who came to America was a slave. No, don't think about that. That's silly. If you think all black American who came American was a slave, no. Think about it. And let me say this really quick. When black American went to America, there was black people was there before already. That's a different story. We will talk about it later on. But I believe they may be Egyptians, because Egyptians used to own the land, other country beside Egyptian. I'm not talking about right now Egyptians, I'm talking about ancient Egyptians, like a Pharaoh time Egyptians, not right now Egyptians, no. Okay? So American land used to be a black people there already before American came. Like they form America. No. Yes. Okay? So that can tell you very little, because not really sure about it. But we believe that. But most black people that they went there, it was like slave, like we talking about. Today I'm gonna show you who are the slave, how the slave look like, what they look like, okay, and who are they, okay. So those things we're gonna talk about today, okay. So let me ask you questions before we start the whole thing, okay, or let's look up something like this. When Americans talk about slave, okay, when they talk about slave, this is what they make you think. This is a slave. This one can be a slave, but if this picture show you as a slave, it will be a prisoner slave. See what the pictures that people show to their people, that this is a slaves. No, this is somebody who they are abusing. It's a different thing. Somebody who they abuse. Okay? If you think these people are slaves, to me, you make the whole Bible be wrong. Let me tell you this, black Americans the most, because they are my people. They are the first. I'm talking to them before anybody else. If you gonna sit down to make somebody put you down, I say all black Americans who came as a slave, it's wrong, and people gonna continue to treat you bad. Okay? Not everybody came to America who was a slave. Think about it. There is nobody or any other country can go Africa. Even right now, you think African is poor. Not American is a superpower can go Africa, any small country, and saying, I'm going to take your people by force to some other land. No. Okay? First of all, we're not getting to the whole story beginning yet, but I wanted to say this before I start the whole, story. I want you to make some point before the whole story begins. Okay? So, if you think somebody can go even Sudan, which is poor, country right now and say and tell them, okay, I'm taking your people to somewhere, enslave you, do you think they're going to allow it, even though they are poor? No. I believe black people, we are so important to ourselves, even though we don't have a food to eat. They won't give their children or somebody to someone for anything. But I believe in America here, in America or other countries, they can, if something goes wrong to the country that people don't have a food or shelter, they will start to kill each other. They will start to throw their babies out from to the window and have their own freedom. But Africa, they've been poor for a long time. They still love themselves. When you see some countries that they are so poor and they still holding each other, you can tell that they're not gonna send anybody anywhere for nothing. Okay, so first of all, we have to clear some things up. Okay, there is so many stories. I maybe not get the story straight, but that's okay. If I left anything to say, I'll make another video for it. Like I said, I was telling you about Bible. If you think slaves supposed to look like this, you make the whole Bible this bad book. Even just Israelites themselves used to own a slave. Do you think that was called treating them like this? That's what you're thinking, that they was treating them like this. Is that the way this slave look like? If you tell me, okay, they have three or four kinds of slave, I will tell you how you can be a slave. Slave is not a bad thing. First of all, I wanted to make point clear. The beginning, the whole story is, I'm going to show you, slave is not a bad thing. When Africans say slave, we don't look at it as something that is a bad thing. We look at slave as, when you call it now, as employee. Somebody who works for someone. Slave is is you working for somebody. But old time, years ago, 1,000 years ago, it was different way than now. Maybe that's why they changed. Before, we don't have something called job and labor, whatever kind of, so many kind of names. Then the first, word that it came to them at that time was slave. Means they're working for someone. The people that at that time, olden time, they can't call them slaves. It's somebody who they have their own job, their own, company. But at that time, we don't have companies. We don't have bosses. Not everybody. And at that time, they don't have a city close to the city that you can, get in there yet. But the first point is, slave is not a bad word. Okay, now maybe slave is a bad word. Or slave is a bad thing. But I'm going to show you the reason why slave was there. Because at that time, slave was not something that is bad. Slave is somebody who working. If you're working for somebody, you don't put the chains on the neck like this. No. do that. How the person gonna work for you? Think about it. It's silly. Why you want somebody working for you and you beating? How the person gonna work for you? Slavery is working. Somebody who working, they don't have their own job. They're working for, just like right now, we are all slaves, but they change the words because we work only 8 hours. You come home, you no more slave. They change the word slave, and now they have so many words for it. It look like it's different from the ancient time or AD time. Look like they have a different word. It look like it's different. No, it's the same thing. Just the word that they change it. Job, labor, employee. You know. So at that time they have only two or three words for it. The main first word was slave. Okay? The people that they don't have, they're not working for their own family. They work for somebody who they don't know. And they have only 2, 3, okay, my time is up.